When companies achieve success under making a profit, employees tend to begin coasting and believing that change never has to come to a business model. If it's not broken, they think, why bother fixing it? But employees need to remain motivated even in times of company success in order to continue to reinvent their business model, remain vigilant to the competition, and plan ahead before failure creeps up. I caught up with author, public speaker, and expert on this topic, Rasmus Ankersen, as he shares his advice on what he calls creating hunger in paradise.
The first thing they need to understand is that when a company becomes successful, it doesn't just fight its competitors. First and foremost, it actually fights itself. It fights human nature. So you gotta find ways to override people's natural tendencies to be complacent, resistant to change, that kind of thing. Never trust success, because you gotta have a culture where you treat success with the same skepticism as failure. When you're succeeding, you just kind of expect things to continue as they are. But a lot of companies, confuse good leadership with good market conditions, for example. Are you successful because of the oil price or because of external circumstances, or did you actually truly outperform your competitors? You gotta have that self-awareness, and that takes a culture where you don't shoot the messenger down once success is being questioned.
By studying success, companies can learn to recognize the difference between good leadership and good market conditions.
You gotta have an understanding of what affects your success, and there's a lot of randomness in the world. There's a lot of things that are out of your control. I like the idea of successful companies rethinking their own potential. I gave this example with Lego that competes in the toy industry, but started to question if we are really in the toy industry, because if a young boy doesn't buy a Lego product, what is he buying instead? Is he buying an iPhone, for example? And if he buys an iPhone instead of buying Lego, then Apple is the competitor, not Mega Bloks. And that means the battlefield is really the children's playroom, not the toy industry. And the consequence of that is that Lego is really, compared to Apple, for example, look like a beginner again. It's an interesting thing from a leadership point of view, where you reframe the market. What industry are we actually competing in?
Rasmus Ankersen adds that companies need to evolve even before change seems to be needed.
If it ain't broke, consider breaking it. It comes down to the fact that in a company there's always most often a big time delay between cause and effect. So if a company is successful today, it's typically not because what it did yesterday, but probably what it did 3 or 4 years ago. That's the tough thing, because that means that then you gotta drive change when it looks like there's no need to change. Because if you wait until it's needed, until you feel the effect, it's already too late.
So, for many companies, achieving success is easier than staying successful due to the great fear of losing it. According to Rasmus Ankersen, once success is found, a company has more to lose. Encourage employees to become less risk-averse and make positive planning and changes today that will improve the company tomorrow. For Canadian HR Reporter, I'm Alexia Kapralos.